Yeah, I think now it is visible on my screen. So let us continue the class. Is my screen visible and audible now? So data frame is a two-dimensional data structure.
Audible, sir.
Okay, okay. So data frame is a two-dimensional data structure. So it will have multiple rows and multiple columns. Okay. So now let me create a series. So first, let me tell you how to import pandas. Import pandas as PD. As this is a Jupyter notebook environment, once you have imported pandas, you can use it anywhere, no problem. Okay, in this entire notebook, you can use it. Import pandas as PD. So we are giving a name to the pandas. So pandas as PD.
Sir, you are not. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As you didn't write a keyword.
Okay. Yes. So import pandas as PD. We are giving layers name to the pandas module. So first, let us create a series object. Series. So for that, I need some list of elements. Okay. So I'm taking some names. Names equal to some list of names for creating a series. So I'm taking list of names. Okay. From this list, I'm going to create a series. For creating a series object, pd dot series. Okay. Capital S series. Capital S. Okay. In this series, give the name of the iterable names. Okay. So now you will get a series data structure as single column and multiple rows data it is. Yeah. So you can find the series type of data type equal to object and names and positions. 0, 1, 2, 3 is the positions of the data. If you want clearly, let me create an object for this. The series object, the names of single dimensional data. Let me create an object for this. You can also check the type of object. Type of object. And you can call that object. You will get the type of the object dot series object. Okay, pandas dot code dot series, and this is the series data. And you can also find the positions here. So if you want to access this data from the series, you can use the positions. So obj of as how you will mention index, so that in the same way you can mention here also. So object of 0, you will get Venkata Gopi name. Object of 1, Venkatesh. Object of 2, Ramu, Avinash, so that up to so on, how many people are there, you can get the data based on the positions. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. So single row, single column and multiple rows data. So this is the series data. Suppose we can also change these positions. So not only 0, 1, 2, 3. You can also give another names for this. So let us see that. So pd dot so I got the output. Yeah, sir. Yeah, madam. You without object also it will get. I assigned object because to check the type of to show you the type of the data. I assigned object. So pd dot series of. So in the series, I am giving another names like. So you can give the names also. The names list again I am taking, but I am changing the index. So to give your required index, you can mention the attribute called index. So I'm giving the names as n1 comma n2 comma n3 up to so on. I'm giving like that as the index positions. N3 comma 3, 4. Okay. So like this, you can mention the user defined index. Okay. So you will get the index positions as n1, n2, n3. Okay. So like this, you can create the series object. So if you want to update the data in the series, so we can update it. So let us see. I'm creating an object for this again. To access it, that is why I'm creating an object. So from that series, you can update the data based on the index. So let us see that. So object one of. So normally for getting the data, we are using the positions, right? Positions or index. So like this. So for updating also, we can do like this. Object of n1 equal to So previously N1 I'm only having Venkata Gopi. So I'm updating as previously I'm having Venkata Gopi. I'm updating it as Venkat. So now you can check the series object 1. So it is updated or not, whether the data. Yes, the data is updated. The previously in the N1 position we are having Venkata Gopi. The data is updated to Venkat. So like this you can update the series object. So Srilata ma'am is saying that my screen is not visible. I hope it is visible, ma'am, on secure internet.
Sir, it is loading slowly, sir. It is loading very slowly.
Okay, okay.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, can't we use without creating this N1, N2, N3? We
Yeah,
can't
sir. You can
able to
use based on
update
the positions, sir. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 positions we seen previously. So based on that positions also you can.
second procedure for us for updating the values, right?
Yeah, yeah, yes, sir. So if
Sir,
we
thank you,
given
sir.
the index related to our data, then it will be good for accessing it, sir. So as default, by default, the index positions will be 0, 1, 2, 3 up to so on like that. Okay,
Okay, sir.
everybody is telling that my voice is not clear. Is it clear and audible to all now? Is my voice clear and
Yes, sir.
audible to all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So fine. Okay. So this is how we can update the data using in series data. So now, let me tell you about data frame. So data frame is two-dimensional data, as we seen it previously. So in this data frame, we should know about more data frame only, and there is nothing much to discuss about series. Series is also a one of the representation of data in a single dimensional mode. But coming to data frame is the uh, that which is more to discuss. So let us see that one. Uh, Suppose let me tell you I'm having a student data in a dictionary I'm having. So I'm going to create a data frame. I told you that a data frame is having multiple rows and columns, like what we call like tabular data frame will be displayed. So for creating the data, I'm creating a dictionary here, student data. You all know that how to create a dictionary. In student data, I'm creating three keys. Max. In max key, I'm giving as marks of the students. 85. So as their marks are integers, no need of mentioning them in quotations. Okay, so I'm taking 5 student marks. So this is one of the key I have taken, and another key is I'm taking maths physics subject. So this one also 5 marks I am taking for 5 students. So in the same way, take another subject like chemistry. So I'm going to create 3 columns. Okay. So maths, physics, and chemistry are the 3 columns in the data frame. So for that purpose, I'm taking the data in dictionary. So give 5 values for this also. Okay. So 5 values for every subject. So it is created, it is completed creating a dictionary. So now my task is to convert it into a data frame. Okay. So I hope you all know about dictionary. Screen not visible. Please send me previous class videos. Yeah, okay, ma'am. Videos will be shared to you. Screen not visible. I think it is visible, ma'am. Yeah. So I have completed creating this dictionary. So from this, I'm going to create a data frame. So data frame is also from pandas. We will create pd dot data frame of. Yeah, after physics key, we should also give comma. Oh, okay, student data is created. Now I'm going to create a data frame. So pd dot data frame. Data frame in data frame class, you need to mention uh, capital D and capital F. Okay. Some of you mute your microphone. Let me mute all. I think I didn't log in as host. So you please mute your microphone for those who are. If anybody log in as host, you please mute all. Ramu, mute all the persons. Ramu, okay. Okay, pd dot data frame of here you need to give the student underscore data. Student underscore data. So I'm assigning this an object that is student underscore data frame. Okay, student underscore data frame equal to, and you can display the data frame. You will get as a table. Okay, so like this you will get a table. Up to here, all of you complete and let me know. We will proceed. Okay. So this is the data frame. It will looks like a tabular format, rows and columns, and you will also find the index positions 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to so on. So for that index positions, you can also update them. As previously we done for series, I'm going to update them for here. So index equal to, I'm giving the student names in position of index. I'm giving the, okay, I will tell another process, no problem. So as you know that already previously, I will tell another process to update the data frame, index of data frame. So you please complete up to here now. So we have 3 columns in the data frame and 5 rows. Okay. So this data frame can be applied to any rows and columns data, not only creating manually data like this using dictionary. Suppose CSV files, we all know that CSV files, right? Comma separated value files, .csv files. So that .clv files also, the data will be in tabular format only, rows and columns. So that data also can be analyzed using this data frame, and also from databases data will also be in tabular format. That data can also be converted into data frame, and we can apply the data frame functions. Okay. So have you completed up to now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now let us change the index. So for updating the index, we can do like this. I have assigned the data frame to an object, student underscore data frame, that is student underscore data frame dot index equal to, so light description on the data analysis. Yes, ma'am. Description in the sense, I told you previously about the example. Suppose uh, let us say a company called online shopping company or anything like Amazon is need to find uh, having the data of thousands of users that bought a particular product, to suppose if they are having a requirement like which product has been sold most of the people, in that cases we can apply this kind of analysis part. So and also, suppose let us in sales market also we will apply this data analysis part. Okay. So now we are going to update the index of the data frame. Update the index of data frame here. update. So we will update. So we will give you the list. Student names I am giving in the place of Ravi. I'm giving the list of names. Okay. So like this, I'm taking 5 names in the list so that the index positions can be updated in the data frame. So I'm refreshing it. 1 second. Okay. So create the index. Creating index update.
Sir, it will
this
not be
one.
displayed, sir, on the screen.
Yes, sir. Screen is not updating.
Screen is visible, but it was not updated.
Yeah, sir. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
The same problem I am also facing, sir. Screen is visible but not updated.
Okay, sir. I will share it again. I'm sharing my screen again. So I think it is now updated. Once check all of you. I'm giving the index positions as student names instead of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we also give 5 names here. So because of we taken five rows data. So you can give here 5 names. So you can check the data frame that index positions have been updated as student names. So Ravi, Ramu, Bharat, and Bhargav. So 5 names we are given because we are having 5 rows. So this is the data frame. So in this case, we got the exact data frame. From this data frame, we can apply now analysis part. Like suppose, let us say, first let us check how to access the data from this data frame. Suppose I want uh, all subject marks of student Praveen. I want the marks of all subject marks of student Praveen. So for that, we need to access raw data. Accessing raw data, accessing raw data. So we will do using the function called student underscore data frame of. So we are having the function to access raw data based on the index position, that is LOC. So LOC is the function. LOC is nothing but location. Okay. LOC of we will give here the student name. So LOC square brackets. The row name is Praveen. So we will give as Praveen. Okay. Student underscore data frame dot LOC of Praveen. So that you will get the array of Praveen row. So output you will get as array. Yeah. So output we are seeing as series object. So we have accessed the Praveen student all subject marks. That means we have accessed the raw data. So in this way, you can access raw data. Suppose let us say I want the column data. Suppose let us say I want all the marks of the students in max subject. So in max subject, so that you can directly give the column name for that. Student underscore data frame of max. Okay. So this gives the column data. Just by using column name, we can get the column data. So if you want row data, you can use LOC, data frame dot student underscore data frame dot LOC of row name. There is row name, you will use that name, index name. If there are 0, 1, 2, 3, then you should use ILOC. So if there are names in particular index positions as names, so you will use LOC function. If there are index positions like 0, 1, 2, 3 up to so on, then you will use ILOC function. So column data. Okay, so in this, if we executed this, we will get the output as all the marks in the max column as series of. You can check here. Okay, so like this we can access student data and row data. Suppose let us say I've told you about ILOC function, right? Let me execute that here, ILOC also. So whenever we are giving ILOC, we can use index positions. Okay, student underscore data frame dot ILOC of, suppose let us say I want to access the second position. So ILOC of the second position, whoever whatever the data in the second row 0, 1, 2, right? Starting from 0, 1, 2 position, second row data will be given. So when we are using ILOC function, we should give index positions. When we are using the LOC function, we should give index names. Whatever the index names we have changed, we can give. We can use LOC function. Okay, now is it clear for you all up to now? Everybody got the data frame and able to access row data and column data?
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, in case of numerical values, we have passed the names as index positions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If two names will have the similar thing, then which value will be displayed, sir?
No, sir. Index doesn't have same values. Index
No,
value should be unique.
In index position, we have passed the values rather than numbers, right?
Yeah.
Ravi, some names you have been written, Bharat
Yes,
and something like this.
yes, sir.
By chance, if I write two similar names, then what will be the output for us?
Sir, that is not in that we cannot give in that way because index position should be unique, sir. Index name should be unique.
Sir, I know it, sir, but in place of index value, it is also possible to send the names also. Just now you said it, that example.
Yes, sir. Yes. Sir.
Index, yeah. So in that case, if I pass similar names, then what will be the case?
We will get an
It
error,
may
sir.
arise any
Error.
kind of error.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay,
We
sir.
will get
Okay, sir.
error.
Thank you. Then it is recommended to go only for index position rather than names, right?
Yeah, yeah, yes, sir.
Right,
So
sir.
in
Thank you.
some cases, by using indexes, analysis part is not going to be worked out, sir. In some cases, suppose let us say we are having the data of income data of some of the states in some particular years. So at this place, at the state, if we are having requirement like find the name of the state which is having highest income in particular year, at that kind of cases, you definitely have to give the index positions as names of the state. So then only we'll be able to get easily.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Student underscore data frame dot ILOC. So if you are using ILOC, you can mention index positions. If you are using LOC, then you can mention the name of that particular index. So now let us go for analysis part. Analysis is nothing but suppose let us see how to make the changes. Suppose we are having 3 columns here in the data frame, max, physics and chemistry. I want to add another column, and that is total. So I want to add the total column by updating every student total marks in that column. Okay. Suppose let us say here we are having In this data frame, we are having 3 columns: maths, physics, and chemistry. In screen is got sharing the screen. Okay, you can visible now. The screen will be, yeah. As initially we are having 3 columns. I want to add another column, total. In the total column, I should get every student total marks in that respective column. Okay, so we will do that now. So for calculating every student total marks, we will, what we should do. So we should find the sum. Okay, student underscore data frame dot sum of sum is the function for data frames. Also some function we can apply. Sum of, so if we apply sum, let us see what we will output. So we are getting column wise outputs here. For every column we are getting sum, but we know we want here row wise sum. Okay, so row wise sum we want. So that is why we are going to give the axis here. If axis equal to 0, what will happen? Let us see. Axis equal to 0, we will get student underscore data frame dot sum of axis equal to 0. So axis is nothing but, if axis equal to 0, we will get so we are getting, if axis equal to 0, we are getting column wise sum. Okay, so but I want row wise sum, so that way I am changing axis equal to 1. See here, then we are getting row wise sum. For every student we are getting row wise sum. Okay, so now you can update to the original data frame, student underscore data frame of, I told you to add new column, right? Total previously is not available. Now we are going to add it. Yeah, total column. So like this, you can add the column. Student underscore data frame of total is the new column that is going to be added in the data frame. Student dot underscore data frame dot sum of axis equal to 1. So we are adding row wise sum. Okay. If axis equal to 1, that is row wise sum. If axis equal to 0, that is column wise sum. Okay. Student underscore data frame. Now you can check it. Yeah. So the column total is added. Okay. Is it clear for you all? If you are having any doubt in this, again ask him. I will explain again. See, in a single line, we are able to perform this because of the functionalities in data frame. So without this axis equal to sum, one sum, we cannot able to do it. We need to, if we are not having these data frame functions, we should do more process like getting every row data. From that every row data, we should only consider the values as max, physics, chemistry, and again we need to sum them, and again we need to update the table. So it will take long process. So because of the functionalities in this data frame, we are able to perform it easily. So is it clear for you all, or else shall I explain again? Initially in the data frame, we are having only 3 columns, those are the subject names. At last, we have updated the column with the total by adding individual student marks.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
In frames, we can use any conditions.
Conditions
Particular
means?
condition means the average marks of students and find the grade of the students, like that.
Yeah, ma'am. You can apply that also. So
Oh.
based on this total, you can give grade or rank also you can give.
Okay, sir.
So yeah, based on these marks, you can sort the data. Now let us see that. Suppose let us see which is the highest total here. It is already showing like that only. Basically 250, 242, 213. Okay. So let us sort the data from top to bottom with the highest total of the student. Okay. So for that we are having the function that is student underscore data frame dot sort underscore values. Sort underscore values is the function based on total. Okay. So based on total. So by default they are getting in ascending order. Okay. So if you want to give them in descending order, we should use the attribute like order equal to descending. So descending is not defined. I think DSC. Yes. Yeah. This can be, I think there are parameters, some of the parameters, not order. Parameter is not the order. So I think parameter, by default, we are getting in ascending order, right? Small to big, we are getting. I think there will be the parameter like ascending equal to true. So if we set ascending equal to false, then we will get in descending order. Okay. We set ascending equal to false. So one of the faculty is asking something. Sir, some R language commands of data science. Sir, visualization also possible through data present in. Yes, sir. In Python also visualization is possible. So there are some different packages. So we will tell you. So after this completion of pandas, we are going to discuss visualization only. So by default, we are getting the data total column in descending order. So if you want ascending order, we are getting. If you want in descending order, we should update it ascending as false. Okay. So by default, ascending is true in this sort underscore values function. We are giving it as false, so that we will get the data in descending order. So sort underscore values is the function used for sorting the data in data frame. Yeah, now you can observe that 250, 242, 225, 213, 119. So these data are in descending order. So now you can give the ranks also. So you can add rank column also. Student underscore data frame of rank. So rank is the column name. Rank. Scroll up the screen, 20th line. Okay, ma'am, I will scroll up. After this completion of this rank adding, I will scroll up. So rank equal to. So here we need the rank 1 to up to n number of rows we need, right? So we need like yeah. So we can apply the for loop for I in range of student dot index. If we are giving student underscore data frame dot index, it will take us as dot index. It will use the array of index names. Okay, so we are applying length to that len. Okay, so that we will get the 1, 2, 3 up to so on. So we need from starting 1 to n, right? We shouldn't need from 0. We should need from 1. So let us see that. Now let me run here up to now. What we will get, let us see. So we got the error for here for I in range. For I in range of. This is the list comprehension. I hope you all know that list comprehension. So do you remember list comprehension, everyone?
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
In the list conference, you said the variable should be right before the keyword called for.
Yes, sir.
Now you're writing inside the for.
Yes, sir. Actually, for loop syntax is for variable in range of like that we will write. We are calling that variable in left side of the for. Okay, now you can check the data frame, what we are getting actually in the rank column. So rank column will start from 0, I think, because we have taken like a range of length of student underscore data frame dot index. Yeah, see here in the rank column, we are getting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, but we should need from 1 to, right? From starting from 1 we need. So 1 comma length of index plus 1 position we need plus 1. Okay, now run it. After that, run data frame also. So you can update like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 ranks. So I hope now it will be clear for you. So initially we are having only 3 columns, max, physics, chemistry. From that, by using that, we create a total column and rank column. Okay. So if you are having any doubts now, you can ask here. Is it okay, sir? Is it okay for you all? Clear for you all? This one, what I have told. So that plus 1 will be added to index positions, right? Or only to 0th position? Yes, ma'am. If let me explain here. Student underscore data frame dot index. This gives us the list of index. Okay, list of indexes in the data frame, and we are applying length to that. Length means we will get the value. How many values are there in that index? We will get that value. So for that value, we are starting from 1 to plus 1. We all know that in range function, start end will be there. So the range will be considered up to n minus 1. So as we are starting from 1, I need plus 1 also, n plus 1 position. So that is why I mentioned plus 1. Is it okay, ma'am? No? You mean plus 4 plus 1? Yes, sir. Yeah, ma'am. So actually length, see ma'am, if we are student underscore data frame dot index, if we give, we will get the names of students, Ravi, Ramu, Bharat, Bhargav. So I am applying length to that. So when we have applied length, so it will be 5. We will get 5, ma'am, not 4. We will get 5. As we are starting from, yes, we are not starting from 0. We are starting from 1. That is why I have given 5 plus 1, 6. So 1 to 6 means we will get up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay. So now Sonalata ma'am is asking, like, this is the list comprehension, ma'am. List comprehension. In list comprehension, we will call the for loop variable in the left side of the for loop syntax to access that variable. Okay, ma'am. Go to the 20th line. Which line, ma'am? 20th. Here it is not able to find. Not showing 20th line. This one only, ma'am. Total. Are you asking this one only? Axis use it. Okay. Yeah, this one only, ma'am. So here we used axis equal to 1 because I need to sum the row based values. Okay. For every row, I should get sum. So that is why I use axis equal to 1. If axis equal to 0, we will get a column sum. So we will get every column sum. Now is it clear, ma'am? Okay. So I hope you all clear with this. If you are having any doubts, you can ask. Ramu, are you there, Ramu? Shows first 4 to 8 inputs. Okay, ma'am, I will tell you, Nazma ma'am, I will tell you now, no problem. I have an announcement for you. Tomorrow is the last day for. Tomorrow is the last day for this workshop. You will have an exam tomorrow. We will tell you after the class. We are planning to conduct the exam. We will tell you all the things in the tomorrow morning. Exam will be in online mode, so you will get multiple choice. I think multiple choice exam you will get in online. So we will after the I think tomorrow morning 11:30 or at afternoon 12 o'clock you will have exam. After the class you will have exam anyway. 1 hour exam. Online mode, it will be multiple choice on Python programming only. So you need to write, everybody need to attempt the exam. So it's mandatory to attempt the exam. So after the class tomorrow you will have an exam. Remaining details we will tell you in the tomorrow's class how the exam will be written, how to access that exam. No problem. It will be in online mode. And
How much time, sir? Duration, sir?
1 hour, ma'am.
Any pass marks criteria, sir?
No pass marks, sir. Just it is conducted for how much you have gained knowledge from this workshop. Just we are conducting for that of sake. There are no pass marks, but attempting exam is mandatory.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
If you are having any doubts, you can stay here. If you are not having, you can leave the meeting. Yeah, Nazma ma'am, now you can share your screen so that we will solve your error. I'm stopping my screen sharing. Yes, sir. Based on this exam, we will prioritize exam. Everybody need to attempt the exam, not based on the exam. Only those who have attempted the exam only we will get certificate. So that is where the reason everybody need to write the exam. Yeah, okay, ma'am. Recorded videos definitely we will share you. Yeah, all the days we will share, ma'am. Mm. Jupyter notebook. Okay, madam, you try to run that command python space -m pip install upgrade pip. Once run that one. Press up arrow, ma'am. You will get the previous command. Only that one only, ma'am. Python -m command. Down arrow. Now press down arrow. Space -, user. Give that space -, user. Yeah. Okay, ma'am. So now pip install Jupyter space -, user. Pip install Jupyter space -, user. It is saying that already satisfied. Okay, ma'am. Now try to run it Jupyter space notebook. Fine. Madam, once close the command prompt and open your Python setup file is there, ma'am. Once open it, close this command prompt, ma'am. We will open it again. Python setup file is there, now. What you have installed. Open that file once. Not that one, ma'am. Not ideally. Setup file. .exe file, ma'am. Check in downloads. It will be there, I think. Yes, ma'am. That one only. Okay, uninstall that one, ma'am. Once you uninstall that one. So, ma'am, try to download 3.7 version, ma'am. 3.8 is not that much of recommended because it is not yet completely have been sir. Now download the 3.7 version, ma'am, from the python.org link. Minimize that one, minimize uninstallation and download Python 3.7 version. Open the browser and go to the URL python.org. Yeah, you type python.org. Here, go to downloads, man. Downloads, Windows, click on Windows. Is your system 32-bit or 64-bit, man? Scroll down and come to 3.7 version. Scroll down.
It's a 64, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Come, scroll down, ma'am. Scroll down and in 3.7 version, 3.7.7, click on download Windows x86-64 executable installer. 3.7, download x8, yes, ma'am. Click on that one. So it will download it, that .exe file. Yeah, open that file, ma'am. After installation, after download. Yeah, add path, madam. Add the Python. Check that box. Add Python 3.7 to path. And click on install now. Now open command prompt, ma'am. Once close and open command prompt. Ma'am. Close that setup file success also. Now pip install Jupyter. Madam, close that. Okay. Pip install Jupyter.
Oh, what are you doing?
Yeah, Python is working, ma'am. You can directly, because we added path, right? It will work. Yes, click on enter. Already satisfied. Oh, already satisfied. Showing already satisfied. Ma'am, once you can go to that path, ma'am, Syed / app data roaming Python. So there we should delete that one, ma'am. Delete that Python 3.8 so that we can start. Once close command prompt, ma'am. Go to C drive, ma'am. C drive in the folder. Ma'am, is the uninstallation process completed? Previously, you kept uninstallation, right? Click on that. Is that process completed? Okay. Click on OK. Close that one, ma'am. Uninstallation successful. You can C drive. C drive. Users. Program files. Yes, ma'am. Program files. Ma'am, C drive, go to users, ma'am. Once C drive users. Users. Yes, Syed. Here, go to Syed, the virtual box. Click on view, ma'am. Top there is view, right? Click on that one. View. Top there is option called view. Yeah. Here content. Click on content, ma'am. Content hidden. So there will be option called hidden files. View hidden files. View. In home, check in home, ma'am. Once home option. Home. Also not there. Okay. So check in file options, ma'am. Check in file. Okay. Okay. Okay, ma'am. Now close this drives, ma'am. C drive close, and once open command prompt, we will check there which Python is working. Open command prompt. Once clear this, once close and open command prompt. Okay. Type Python now. 3.8 is not installed, ma'am. Uninstalled. You have to uninstall it. So close the command prompt and go to downloads and uninstall again that one. 3.8. This is one. Right click on it. Double click on it. You will get uninstall option. Open. Click on open. And it's asking to install. Okay. Okay, ma'am. Now we should go to that path only, ma'am. C drive. C drive, no? C drive. Users. Syed. Here we should Go to app data, local programs, ma'am. Python. Remove that folder, ma'am. Python 38 folder. Select that and shift enter. Click on shift enter. Select that. Shift enter. So once you close the command prompt, ma'am, here once one command prompt is running in that Python 3.8 is working, I think. Close that command prompt. Yeah, that one. So now try to delete it. Some other file is working here. There is a file, ma'am. See, check that once. What is that one? Yeah, this one also close. Now you can. Okay. So now once close this window and open command prompt. Type cmd and enter Python 3.8. Okay. Ma'am, you do one thing, ma'am. Try removing all the Python softwares and install Python 3.7 again. So then you can try pip install Jupyter so that you will get work from that one. Once you try, if not working, tomorrow again we will see that. Okay, ma'am. So remove all the Python versions and try reinstalling Python 3.7.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.